I never thought love could change my whole life before marriage, but it did. And I still remember the first day I saw him as if it happened yesterday. I was young, hopeful, and believed that love always ends in happiness. He was kind, calm, and his smile made me feel safe. We met by chance, and slowly our conversations became longer, deeper, and more personal. I did not plan to fall in love, but my heart did not ask for permission, it simply chose him. At first, it felt innocent and beautiful. We talked about dreams, future, and simple things like food, rain, and quiet evenings. He listened to me like no one ever had. And when he said my name, it felt special. I believed he understood me. I believed he cared. And most of all, I believed he would stay. I did not know that love before marriage can be the most painful kind of love. Days turned into months, and my feelings grew stronger. I started waiting for his messages, his calls, and his presence. My happiness depended on him without me realizing it. When he was happy, I was happy. When he was silent, my heart felt heavy. I told myself this was love, real love, and I trusted him with my emotions, my secrets, and my heart. He told me beautiful things. He said he admired my honesty, my patience, and my strength. He said I was different from others, and I believed him. I believed every word, because when you love someone, you do not question their promises. You hold them close and build dreams around them. I imagined a future where love would lead to marriage, respect, and peace. But slowly, things began to change. His replies became shorter, his voice sounded distant, and his excuses became more frequent. I felt confused, but I stayed quiet. I was afraid that asking questions would push him away, so I kept my pain inside and smiled on the outside. I thought love meant patience, so I waited. I remember nights when I stared at my phone, hoping he would message me. Even a simple hello would make my heart feel alive again. But silence became my companion, and loneliness entered my heart. Still, I loved him, even when it hurt, because leaving felt harder than staying. One day, he told me his family had plans for him, plans that did not include me. He said marriage was complicated and life was not easy. His words were calm, but my heart was breaking. I asked him if he loved me, and he paused before answering. That pause was louder than any truth. He said he cared, but care was not enough. Love without courage is just pain. And I realized that I was loving someone who was not brave enough to choose me. Still, I hoped, because hope can be cruel when you love deeply. I started blaming myself. Maybe I was not good enough, maybe. I expected too much. Maybe love before marriage was a mistake. My confidence slowly disappeared, and my heart felt tired. But I stayed because my love was real, even if his was not. When the truth finally came, it came quietly. He told me he was getting married to someone else chosen by his family. His words were simple, but they shattered me. I felt numb. I could not cry. I could not speak. I just listened as my dreams fell apart. That night I cried alone, not because he was leaving, but because I gave my heart to someone who never planned to protect it. I loved him before marriage, and that love taught me pain, patience, and loss all at once. Days passed, and I tried to move on, but memories do not disappear easily. Every place reminded me of him. Every song sounded like our story, and every quiet moment felt heavy. Healing is not fast, and forgetting someone you truly love takes time. I learned that loving someone before marriage can be beautiful, but it can also leave deep scars. I learned that love needs respect, commitment, and courage. Without them, love becomes a silent burden. Today, I am stronger, not because I forgot him, but because I accepted the truth. I stopped waiting for someone who could not choose me. I stopped hoping for a future that was never promised, and I started choosing myself. I still believe in love, but now I believe in the kind of love that stays, the kind that respects, and the kind that does not hide behind excuses. My story is not about regret. It is about growth, healing, and self-worth. If you're listening to this and loving someone who keeps you waiting, remember, love should not make you feel invisible, and loving yourself is the bravest choice you can make. I never planned to fall in love before marriage, but life does not always follow our plans. It follows our feelings, and my feelings chose him quietly. Without asking me first, I still remember how normal everything felt at the beginning. I was just living my simple life, focusing on my family, my small dreams, and my future. Love was not even on my mind, until he walked into my life and slowly changed everything without realizing it. He was not perfect, but he felt right. His voice was calm. His words were gentle, and the way he listened made me feel important. We talked like friends at first about daily life, small worries, And silly thoughts, I laughed more, I smiled without effort, and my heart felt lighter when I spoke to him. I told myself this was harmless, just friendship, nothing more, but deep inside, my heart already knew the truth. As days passed, our conversations became longer. We shared our fears, our hopes, and our past. He told me about his struggles, and I listened carefully. I felt close to him, closer than I had ever felt to anyone, and slowly, without noticing, he became a part of my routine. My mornings felt incomplete without his message, and my nights felt empty without hearing his voice. I tried to control my feelings because love before marriage is never simple, especially for a woman. I knew the risks, I knew the rules of society. But emotions do not follow rules, they grow silently, and one day I realized that I was deeply in love with him, not loudly, not proudly, but quietly. He made me feel special in ways I had never experienced. He remembered small details about me, things I never thought mattered. He noticed my mood changes, my silence, and my sadness. When he asked if I was okay, I felt seen. And that feeling was addictive. I trusted him, maybe too much, but when you love someone, trust feels natural. Sometimes he spoke about the future, not clearly, not with promises, but with hope. He said life changes, and nothing stays the same. I held on to those words. I created meanings that he never fully said, and my heart built dreams without asking his permission. I imagined a future where love would become marriage, where patience would be rewarded, and where waiting would finally end. But love before marriage is often built on uncertainty, and slowly that uncertainty began to show itself. He became busy, his replies became short, his voice lost warmth. I felt the distance growing, but I stayed quiet because I was afraid that speaking my fears would make them real. I chose silence over honesty, and that choice slowly broke me. There were nights when I waited for his message for hours, staring at my phone, refreshing the screen, hoping to see his name. My heart raced with every notification, but most nights ended in silence. I blamed myself for being needy, for expecting too much, but love should not make you feel ashamed of your feelings. I remember one night very clearly. I was sitting alone, listening to the rain outside, holding my phone tightly, waiting for him. My heart felt heavy, and my eyes were tired from hoping. I realized how lonely love had made me, but even then, I could not let go, because my love was real, even if his effort was not. One day, he told me his family was talking about his marriage. His words were calm, but my heart stopped for a moment. I tried to act strong. I told him I understood, but inside, I was falling apart. I asked him what he wanted, and he said he did not know. That answer hurt more than rejection. I loved him before marriage, but he loved his comfort, his family's approval, and his safety more than me. I was never a choice. I was just a feeling he enjoyed when it was easy, and that truth slowly became clear. I started losing myself. My confidence faded, my smile disappeared, and my heart felt tired all the time. I questioned my worth, my beauty, and my value. I wondered why I was not enough to be chosen, and that question haunted me every day. When he finally told me he was getting married, my world went silent. His words were simple, almost casual, but they shattered me completely. I listened quietly. Because crying felt useless, I realized that my love story had ended before it even had a chance to begin. That night I cried alone, not loudly, but deeply. I cried for the dreams I built, the future I imagined, and the love I gave without protection. I loved him before marriage, and that love taught me pain I was not ready for. Days passed, and healing did not come quickly. Memories followed me everywhere. His voice echoed in my mind, and every quiet moment reminded me of what I lost. Moving on felt impossible, but staying broken felt worse. Slowly, I began to understand something important. Love that hides, love that waits without clarity. And love that fears commitment is not love that saves you. It is love that drains you. And I had given too much of myself to someone who was never brave enough to stand for me. I learned to choose myself, not because I stopped loving him, but because I deserved peace. I deserved a love that would not make me feel invisible. And I deserved a future built on respect, not uncertainty. Today, when I look back, I do not hate him. I do not regret loving him because that love taught me my strength, my patience, and my worth. I loved him before marriage, but I learned to love myself after heartbreak. If you are listening to this story and you are loving someone who keeps you waiting, someone who gives you hope, but no direction, remember this: love should not hurt every day, and choosing yourself is not selfish, it is necessary.